and go look at this, and there was a model home apparently. So, and then she's like, okay, let me wrap things up. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
and
close,
she's like, yeah,
close the office.
I know.
Let's go. Let's do this. Like, okay, like welcome to the It Couple.
Here you will get to listen to a husband and wife babble
about life situations, enjoyment, and fantasies.
And without further ado,
let's start the show.
Hello, everyone. It's Laura here.
And me, Xavier.
Yeah, and we're the It Couple. And today we're going to tell you about the home we bought or signed a contract for. Or I don't know how it all goes.
This is another story. So I guess
last you heard.
Yeah, exactly. From our last episode, you heard that we put in our first offer on a home.
Yep.
We saw a home that we felt fit with us. It just had that magical connection.
Yep.
All the stars aligned, and we were going to go forward. There was one bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it was bank owned, but our realtor talked to the realtor for the bank, and it seemed like they were willing to do the negotiating and stuff like that from what her conversation with him had been. And
yeah, they're not going to be a robot.
So we're like, okay, well, banks have gone through many foreclosures since, the last housing crash happened and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, they're just going to want to get rid of this thing, and so, it was a multiple offer. We put in our best and highest offer as
and that's
requested.
What they asked for.
Yep.
They asked for, like, okay, now we have multiple offers. Put in your best offer.
Yep. So we did.
That, which was higher than what they offered. We just had a couple contingencies that we definitely wanted in there. Yep. And we won that bid.
Yes. Yeah. They contacted us, and apparently they had a, let's see, what do they call it when they... I don't know what the technical term is for it. But pretty much, counter offer. There we go. They counter offer our offer. But I don't know if they can counter offer to multiple people, but either way, they said, hey, we have a counter offer available for you guys. And so we're thinking like, okay, all right, what are they going to be asking for? And, so we looked at the counter offer. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's what we offered at the price. What exactly does this mean?
So after offering at higher than what they first wanted.
Which we did that because we also wanted them to pay the closing costs, so we were only asking for them to pay a portion of it and stuff like that. And and then of course there was a contingency of like a home inspection and that it got approved for our VA loan, which they said that they worked with the VA loans and stuff like that. And, so just minor things like that. They took all of those contingencies off of there, all those minor things that were for our protection.
Yes.
And kept the offer we put at.
So here's the thing. They have their listed price. Yeah. We went above their listed price.
Yes, we did.
We had some contingencies, and they said, you know what, we like that listed price. So we like the fact you went above that listed price. But can you just remove all the rest?
Yeah, they wanted everything for them and nothing for us. So we did, that whole day, I did a ton of calling, and I talked to our lender, I talked to our realtor, I talked to my parents, and, we asked a bunch of people. And
exactly.
Because we didn't know what to do exactly.
Because, when they said bring your best offer, we did. Mm-hmm. We did bring our best offer, and that was it to the table. When they came back and said, all right, you won, now can you get us more? To me, it felt like, hey, guess what? You won $1 million, and then going back, oh, well, can I have more? Well, no, you asked for my best, and that's what you got, and so right now they're still active and looking for that next person.
Yeah, last I looked, I haven't looked recently, but we decided to decline that counter offer because we decided it wasn't worth it. It was a home that it needed some help and some repair.
Holes in the wall, as we discussed previously.
There was a hole in a door, it's like it had some issues.
This wasn't in pristine condition.
Yeah, well, it didn't have a stove, and just all these things. And we're like, okay, we can't go any higher. Yeah. And especially when you take off the things like our, the home inspection and, and all these things. And we're like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah. We would definitely need a home inspection for
well, especially since we have the VA loan.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so we're like, yep, nope, not worth it. So we're like, the search continues.
Yeah.
And, our realtor decided that, she wanted to pursue the new construction thing, which we had looked at a new construction home.
Which this meant I had the drop. And as I said before, I really wanted a tub.
Yes.
I had to drop that need. Because not every home here in Ooh, boy, I gotta mute that. Okay,
wow.
But not...
That scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, oh my, yeah, it was loud. So, I'm learning how to use Discord, by the way, and I'm having fun. And maybe there'll be some adventures in the future. I'm hoping that I can relate to this podcast or to our YouTube in the future or something like that. But that's a story for another day.
Off the topic.
Yes.
Back on.
Oh my goodness. But what was I going off of?
You had to take the garden tub off of there. That was a wish list, not a need.
Yes.
So we finally all right. Let's see what we can get if we take this off our list kind of thing. Because the new construction, not hardly any of them had a garden tub, and certainly none of them within our price range.
And for the most part, my wanting for a garden tub is if we had the chance, maybe this would be a good idea, if we can put this in. We did find many options.
Yeah.
We found, but maybe removing this will make us find something that, maybe fits better than what we think was out there.
Yeah, we're open-minded enough that we're like, okay, let's see what else there is.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay. So then came in the, all right, she did some research and stuff, and there wasn't really any single-family homes that we could find within our price range, in the new construction. So she was like, well, are you interested in a townhouse? And I'm like, okay, well, we'll look at it. I mean, we lived in a townhouse actually, that was our first house we lived in as a married couple.
Yes, we were in the military together. Yes. We had
so we're like, okay, fine, we'll look at it, because I mean, obviously it's been quite a few years, and so we figured there's probably been some upgrading there and that department. So, we're like, okay, fine, we'll look. And so we put we had a single family home resale we were going to look at, and a townhouse resale, and then 2 new townhouses. Oh, and there was another single family resale that we were going to look at, but it went on the market one day, and then the very next day it was off. And so we're like, well, I guess we can't see that one.
It flew by really quick.
Yeah.
And so as we're going on our adventure, there was another house that was on our list, and in this house we have discussed a few times. I think each episode we've talked about this.
The Bland house.
Oh my goodness, we were at the moment of, okay, the Bland house.
Maybe we should just make an offer in on this one.
Yeah,
it was in a nice neighborhood.
It was a nice neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's not a home that we were falling in love with, but it's
it had your garden tub.
It did have my garden tub. And I was thinking, maybe this is the connection. This is
yeah, but it had a really small kitchen, and the first floor just had a weird kind of layout. Where it's okay.
It didn't really felt like it fit naturally, but maybe there was
and then the second floor too. We didn't really like that it had it was just it dumped you into a hallway. Which one of the reasons we fell in love with that bank-owned home was because it had this huge loft, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, not getting dumped into a hallway on the second floor. So anyhow, we were like, all right, if we don't see anything today that makes us fall in love, we're like, we'll seriously consider putting an offer in on the Bland home. So that was our mindset. So everything that we saw was really kind of measuring up to that.
Which is the funny thing is, since the Bland home was the very first home we went to, and the very first home kind of gave me perspective that maybe this can be done. Hopefully we can find something that's much better and that we want in the Bland home. And Bland home just has the blandest paint. It is so freaking it's so beige. And
even the outside.
Yes.
It's all very tan.
Yes. Tan, beige, brown.
Yeah. Even the kitchen. The kitchen cabinets were brown. The countertop was dark brown.
Yeah, neutral colors was just how this home was painted.
We've seen some homes with some pretty crazy colors in it. So
yes,
I like the Bland, the tan and stuff. It makes you kind of see, where you would want to do. But that one, I don't know. Something about it worked against it.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the kind of neutral tone. It had like this yellowish, orangish, weird brown.
There was another home that we had discussed that it had like a really small room when we were saying, okay, we're going to go get this home. That home presented itself very well.
Yes.
It had very much white walls, very clean, very kind of a speckly type of carpet. As far as like if Bland Home had that kind of color and just carpet, it could have been that one thing that set us over the top, making that connection. Right? It's like, okay, this is no longer Bland, this is something else.
Well, it was like a dark kind of tan too. So it like really, and then all the carpet was really dark in the Bland home. So it was very dark feeling in there.
Yeah, but think about, well, what does it say about Bland home? We're saying that white would have been the highlight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bland this home is when, you know what, white walls would actually make it better.
Well, you know, and for me, some of it too was just like, I mean, like the kitchen was cut off because it had a wall there from the living room, and I really wanted an open kind of kitchen to the rest of it.
So, you know, TV's playing. It'd be nice so I can turn around and catch up with what everybody else is watching.
Well, and then the sink like looked out a window that was looking directly at the neighbor's window, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I already have a sink and a window. I don't like it.
I feel like, you know, you just open up the window. Are you cooking? Yeah, I'm cooking too.
So we went to see some townhomes, and the very first townhome we saw actually didn't have a model. So that, because it was like this brand new,
we went to a construction site.
It was like crazy. I mean, it seemed like it was going to be nice. It was a little weird not being able to walk through a model or anything like that. Yeah. You know, so we kind of just had to go off of the video and the floor plan, and we're like, all right, well, let's go see these other townhomes and see if maybe that gives us an idea for what the floor plan will be like.
Yes.
You know, so let's see the next one.
Well, before that, when you go there, I'd say that the person that we went through, that we talked that was working there, I think she did a phenomenal job with that task. She had to use our imagination, her imagination, to link to our imagination to describe a place that didn't exist yet, and why we should, you know, maybe go for this offer. And I think she did a stellar job. It definitely.
They were good. I mean, she did a great job, and she was the one that showed us the very first new construction single family home we went through, but that one was just like way outside of our comfort zone budget wise.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what, $500 a month over like what we really wanted to do?
It kept climbing up and up. And
I know.
Up,
we're like,
just like,
no,
no.
Yeah.
This is you see the car? This is not a Benzies.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, and it's not her fault. You know, there's plenty of people out there who can do that. We just weren't it.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, and then, so we went through that one, and, you know, so we're like, you know, we went to, I don't know, I think we saw a single family home after that where we walked in there and we're like, nope.
Yes.
And then we went to the resale townhome, which actually had a similar kind of layout to what the floor plan looked like for the one we couldn't walk through.
Yes. Which I think that one kind of helped.
It gave us like an idea of like, okay, this is kind of what it is, and it felt really narrow, and most townhomes have these one-car garages, which I'm fine with. We don't have a garage now, so it's not like...
Not really super garage people.
I can't even remember that. It's been many years since we've actually had a garage. But I didn't like the one-car driveway. Like, I just wasn't a big fan of that. Mm-hmm. You know, so... You know, and this one had that, and it was like tight. Like,
exactly.
I mean, really.
You got an SUV.
Yeah. My Kia Soul was like, woo, you know.
Yeah.
I was like almost hitting the rocks.
well, there is a good part about this I want to at least express, because last episode I was ranting about, well, you know, I guess semi-ranting. I'm not sure if it was full rant. I could totally go harder than I did last time. But...
seeing the owner's decor?
Yes, they did it perfectly. As far as, you know, there was like,
I mean, you can put in like your own life. You're living there while you're trying to sell it, but still it needs to look clean cut and, organized.
We saw you had a couple old school movies on the wall.
Movie posters.
That were framed.
Yep.
We saw really nice decorated a kid's room there. For other
I know
people.
it was like a nostalgia kind of thing because the crib that they used was the one almost identical to the one our daughter was in when she was that little.
And so we even got a little reminiscing there. That's what you need.
But we still didn't like that home.
We didn't like the home, but we could still see the potential and grab things from it.
I don't know. It was just really, really skinny. And, the townhome we used to live in back in the day was actually a really wide townhome, kind of opened up. It was still a very odd floor plan.
Do you remember the rules they had before we came in? And they had certain rules please turn off any lights that you turn back on or have any doors open.
Oh yes, yeah.
That I appreciated. That it may have come off as a little tough or rude to some people or something like that when you say, "Oh, here's the rules." But no, we are coming into someone else's homes. Yeah. We are looking to see whether or not we would like to make this our own home, and they did a great job of kind of separating themselves from their own home that, they want it sold too. And like other homes, it was selling for on the upper echelon of pricing, which is fine. They want to make what they, recoup whatever they can to get back. What I liked about it is that they did a good job of just kind of, this is our decor. Nothing was distracting. There wasn't.
Well, yeah.
TV
no, it was good.
Blaring.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. The things that I didn't like were things they couldn't fix.
Yeah, it was the house. It was the house itself, not the people or and other places.
And then the community too. There was other than this itty bitty 1-car driveway, there was no parking for. If you have guests come over, forget it.
Yeah. It's I don't know how.
I couldn't even see where there was any guest parking anywhere.
Were there cars parked on the side of the street?
Some.
There? Yeah, I think that. And they probably would have gotten fined or ticketed or something like that.
It was crazy.
And that was our concern. Our concern wasn't the upkeep of their place or this is weird or something like that. It was literally everything surrounded. So I don't blame them for it. I think they did as good of a job as they could have done with the situation that they had. Again, they didn't win our votes, but they did a really good job. I just wanted to comment on use them as an example.
Well, and I feel too, after we saw that one, we went to another place after, and it kind of gave us more of a view, okay, we now we still had this mindset of we really liked the first one we see, even though we didn't get to walk through it. Yeah. We did like that one. The community looked really nice, and they would have parking. So we're okay, now we need to find.
They did have the amenity of having little the pool area,
a playground area, and things like that. And we're okay, that's nice. It would. Oh. You'll have to cut that out.
Clap. Let's just put it. Do a clap. Do a clap. There we go.
Anyhow, our daughter would really, enjoy that. And so we're okay. We'll figure this out, and now on to the next one. and then we did go see another. We had one more stop after that, and we went to go see this place, and it was. Let's see. We went into the smaller floor plan first, and we were
okay, we're talking about the place where it had I just trying to catch my own memory, there was a weird kind of gate situation on the front house. Is that the one we're talking about?
I don't remember a gate.
Well, it was like a gate to their office.
Well, it was where we parked in front of a townhouse that was already finished, and we had to go across the street.
That's the one. Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Okay, but we walked in. You said
this one was a lot further south, and we went into the interior unit version, not an end unit. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, we had only looked at interior units, no end units. And we went into that one, and it was a lot more open feeling. It was a wider kind of townhouse than the last one we had seen. Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't really care for the interior unit one.
Well, I remember sitting down at this is when it kind of hit me in my head. I was sitting at the bottom, and I was looking around at the living room space and the kitchen area. And, it just I still have in my head, I really liked the first one. And then it's kind of like dawning on me, this feels wider.
Yeah.
Like this,
it was. It just wasn't as long in the like from front to back.
Yes, exactly.
But it had huge lanai. That was like really nice, And we're like, oh, okay, that's pretty nice. And then we went into the other side to talk to where the new home realtor was, And we were like looking through the end unit model home, and we're like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, ooh, the kitchen. This is better. This destroys that video we watched of the imagination home that we got. So that's what I'm saying. The first person did a really good job because we were still thinking about imaginary home.
Yeah. So, we were like talking to her about it, and she didn't have any more available in that community for that particular home, but they were almost sold out, so the model home might be up available. And it was really cool because it was right next to there was a pool. You open your door and there's the pool.
The kind of picture the model house would be very close to the amenities area. This one was
right next door. Yeah, you open your front door, which the front door actually came into the side of the house. So you open it up and there's the pool. There were people swimming there and everything, and we're like, well, I mean,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be cool, but at the same time, I mean, come on, they're going to be screaming
to keep our windows closed.
Yes,
there could be parties going out there, and if you ever lived in an apartment area and you've been close to the pool or recreational areas before, you've heard some weird sounds at night. Yeah, and it happens.
Plus, my thing is too, I really liked it, but I wasn't in love with the kitchen again, the flow from the kitchen to the living room. It was fine. It was the U-shaped kind of kitchen, and it was all right, but it wasn't really that's not my style as much, I guess, with it.
Exactly.
So we were talking to her about it and stuff, and trying to see what was available and things like that. And we let her know this was pretty far south. It would be like a 30-minute commute for you to work, and a lot further for me to get to get our daughter to school.
You gotta stop that, babe. You gotta
I'm sorry.
I'm so many little weird moments of this, what's going on here?
My bad. I'm tired. It's been a long. I say it's a long day, but it's been a long time. Yes,
it has been an adventure. It's been a very weird adventure.
Anyhow,
so
back to the topic.
So anyway, so let me at least go cover this part. So as we're going through, we're in model home that's next to the pool and everything. I'm pretty much on my own. I think I'm just walking around going, oh, this feels better than imaginary home, and really liking the spot. And before I know it, I'm turning around and you're talking to the realtor, and then we're following into a room okay, yeah, this is really nice. Oh yeah, I have another one, and when she says, oh, I have another one, I was a little bit confused on exactly, what she meant about, okay, another one. And she has another one that's closer to the location that we first saw.
Yeah. So apparently, from what I was gathering, what she was telling us was that, there was a new community that they had that they were working on, townhomes. And it was further north, so it'd be less of a commute for us. We're like, okay, we'll bite.
Yeah.
Let's go take, tell us where it is and give us an address so we can GPS it and go look at this. And there was a model home apparently. So, and then she's like, okay, let me wrap things up. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
she's like,
yeah, close the office.
I know.
Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, we're thinking okay, these people stay at this location all day. Oh, you want to see my other one? Oh yeah, sure. Let me hop in the car. Come on, let's go. And
just follow me over there. I'm like,
kind of imagine you're going into any other office you go into there. Oh yeah, I got another place. Let me just hop into my Jeep real quick. Let's go check this out. Let's close the doors, close the building. Oh yeah, we're not closed.
That was pretty hilarious because both of us were like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So we're hopping a car and going to a location. Yeah. We don't have a paper for this.
We had no idea where we were going. I'm just following her, and our realtor is following us, and I'm going man, I hope this lady's okay.
But we did get a lot of good information before going on. And I remember you in the car and okay, I'm not doing anything today. And in my head, I'm thinking, wait a minute. we may be in for something.
I wanted to think
here.
about it and stuff like that first, like, because it had been a crazy day.
Yes.
I mean, we had seen so much and we had been driving all around. I mean, we're at like, 3 or 4 hours at this point of seeing homes that day because of the distance between all of them. It was insane. So we're like, and of course we had our daughter with us and everything. And I'm going like, oh my God, we're encroaching on dinner time. She's going to start being a problem,
Oh, yeah.
And,
hangry kids are hard to bring with you. It's just,
yes. Woo. But I mean, she's a big part of our deciding factor since she's our only child and all that. So,
yes.
I mean, and she's old enough that she can like be a part of the decision. So, hey, we're all like, these are our thought processes going as we're going into this. And we pull up and we're like, oh, okay, hey, this.
While we were driving, when you said that line, like I'm not making any decisions today, part of me thought just for a second, this lady just said, drop it, close the building, I got him. And I was thinking, okay, it must be so good that she knows that she doesn't need to come back here.
She didn't even like know us at all.
No, she knew enough that like this, I got him. This is going to be the deal. This is going to take him home. Don't worry. I got this one. They're mine. It's too late. And so in the car, I'm thinking
hook, line, and sinker.
Exactly. Like this must be the one. And if anything, she's that confident. Let's hear her out. Yep. And now what we go to the place.
Yep.
You kind of describe kind of what you see there.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, we drive in and they're like, okay, construction site certainly going on here.
Yeah.
It looked nice. And then it was like, there was this people that we had seen actually at the last one. And we're like, hey, there's another one. And a guy that like brought them there. And we're like, this is a thing apparently that we didn't know about, that they drive all around. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we go to see the cheaper of the two units because they had an interior unit, which was one floor plan, and then an outer unit, which was a different floor plan and bigger floor plan. So we went into the cheaper of the two because we were like, okay, this is more in the price range we're kind of thinking that we can afford. And it was like, it's nice.
Yeah, it had the wider kitchen area, living room.
Oh, yeah, no, I could tell you, man, I walked in and I was like, yes, this is the kitchen I like. And it granite countertops, which, is just a nice perk. They're very pretty looking.
It definitely was the deciding factor. You saw those countertops, like, ooh, they're not for Micah.
Well, I did like, it had a nice entryway and stuff, too. It actually had, like, a legit entryway.
Yes. A dedicated, hey, when people come in, this is the impression you give.
Yeah, and this one had the staircase in the back of the house, and so, it was nice, and we really liked it. And we're like, wow, this is so much more open than any of the other ones we had seen.
And those windows in the back. Just nicer.
Oh,
big,
yeah. No.
Large.
He's huge. 3 sliding glass door kind of things that stack in on each other.
The little tiny little. That's not enough porch for me not to worry. And I was thinking, and again, this works. Yeah,
it was nice. I really liked it. There was a third bedroom up on the second floor that had this really, it was an extended kind of room. And I'm like, oh, this could work really well for our office and stuff like that. And, I'm like, okay, I could see this. I like it.
They did have like that weird thing they called a loft. Like, this is not a loft. It's just a...
No, that was the first one. And that was the one we never got to see.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And honestly, like, the loft that it had up on this one we were seeing, that we actually got to see.
Yeah.
It was kind of what I thought that they were saying it was a loft, which was not a loft really. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it was a home we never got to see, so we have no idea. But anyhow, so then we were like, okay, well, let's go check out the end unit. Why not, right? We're here. Let's go look. So we go and look at that. And it's like, oh, well, it actually has a loft on the second floor. The one thing I don't care that I don't like that it doesn't have an entryway. Like the first one that we saw, like the previous model.
Yes.
It had a nice entryway. So I didn't really care. I didn't like that it didn't have one. It just kind of had that half bath right there. But having the half bath in the staircase in the front of the house made that room like so much bigger.
Yes.
The back of the house. So it was just like this huge open space. I mean, you didn't really feel like you're in a townhome.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I actually do like it having at the front of the house? Because, okay, if you lived anywhere or you ever been to any house and you've ever had to ask the question, hey, where's the bathroom? And if the bathroom is close.
You passed by it already on your way in.
For me, if the bathroom is close by any of like our personal bedrooms, then it's like, oh, I hope it's clean down there. Oh, like hope they don't like. I hope my doors are closed so they don't see my clothes laying on the floor. Because maybe I haven't been stellar in cleaning that week. Who knows?
Well, that's why I like having the second floor be where all the bedrooms are. Because then they don't need to go up there at all.
Yeah, just don't go upstairs. So if you ever been to someone's house and they said don't go upstairs, like I've never seen the upstairs. Like there's a reason why. Yep. You just the downstairs is for presentation. Don't worry about what's upstairs. But yeah, I like the fact that it was in the front because it's right there. Like, oh yeah, it's just by the entranceway. You don't have to go too deep in, and you're passing on the way in. It makes that little conversation area that you have with your guests a lot easier. What I actually liked about the in unit is just you got so much more light just because you got the side as an option.
Oh yeah, I mean it had more windows. Obviously, you know the interior units. You got people.
You get the front and the back.
Yep, that's it.
That's how physics work.
I mean, it still was big, and the sliding glass doors in the back do bring in a lot of light. But yeah, it doesn't. It's not the same as when you also have a side window, too, that brings in more light. So it was like, yeah, definitely much more open feeling and airy because of that. And then the second floor had, it had the loft little area, and, and it's just a nice little area. So, we get down to the first floor and they're like, okay, so, what do you think? And, and I looked at each other and we're like,
who's going to answer first? And then it was like, well, and then I think for a second, I just felt like everybody was looking at me. So I spoke the truth and it just kind of came out like, so what do you think between the two? And I thought, well, I really like that bigger one. It came out just like that. Like, yeah, that bigger one with all the more stuff in it, with all the everything, that one really was better than the one with less of it.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty much my thought of it. Like, it had the rooms there. You had, like, the bathrooms look a little bit grander.
And the funny thing is, like, I thought you would like the interior unit more.
Yes, yeah. And I can understand why. Because, the interior unit did have this one unique thing with the bedrooms.
Yeah.
They both had like a little tiny hallway like towards the window or towards the front or back. It was kind of a weird kind of loop. And I can definitely see playing with that design. And some of the designs they did for the rooms for their model home really made it shine and did very well. They didn't look bad at all. But if she was asking me, and my analytical brain was the one that was operating at that time. And it was just thinking, no, more had more.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my answer was.
I know, like earlier we had this whole discussion about, okay, because there was the one that we never got to see the floor plans for. There was a 2-bedroom unit, which was the exterior or the end unit, and then a 3-bedroom unit, which was the interior one. And so we're like, okay, which one is better for resale down the line?
And we got a conflicting answer.
Yeah, like, we got
like one person saying that, more bedrooms typically are better. And
then the other one was like, well, the end units usually sell better. So, then we walk into this one and, it's like, well, the end unit's a 3-bedroom and it's an end unit.
Yeah, it has the same amount of bedrooms. Yeah, this one's has more.
But I mean, it was like at the top of our price range, so we're like, can we get it? Can we afford it?
Yeah, you're right.
I had this monthly number in my head.
I answered the question not because of budget. That always comes secondary. At first, I go, which one do you like better? I like this one better. Can you afford this one? I know I can't afford that one, but I do like that one better. And that's how my brain operates. Well, when I go into a shopping store or something like that, or whatever. I like the expensive one with more stuff than the other
stuff. Of course, but can you afford it?
That's why I can't. But you asked me that I like it. I'm answering the question.
This would be why I'm the financial person. So anyhow, then the next step was like, okay, well, what do you have available for this end unit? Because they tend to go quicker. And, so they were like, okay, well, well, we have this one available. So, we were actually able to then walk out and go see this one to see if we liked that location. Maybe that would give us okay, which one, because at this point I'm going like, I like the end unit, but that one's cheaper, Yeah.
And then when we got it down to as far as how much cheaper, actually the number of the price itself, I think it was seemed minuscule to the idea to me that it was a little bit cheaper per month, but if we're going to be in here like for 10 years plus. I actually think it would validate like having.
But even before we got to the numbers crunching part of it, we went and walked out to the one that was available, that we could then maybe get, the lot 34. Yeah. And so we went out there and, we looked at it and I'm like looking at this and it's a corner unit, right at the entrance.
Maybe we shouldn't say lot 34.
There's like a gazillion lots.
Oh, okay.
We can take it out if you want.
Yeah.
I just don't think that. Every new construction area you go to, everyone has 1, 2, 3.
Well,
4.
I don't go home shopping that often, so this is my I don't naturally pick up on these things. So we could take it out. Yeah. Take it out. You clapped, so take it out. All right.
It's all good. All right. Anyhow, so we went and looked at the unit we were going to go see, and it was obviously an end unit, and but it was also on a corner lot. Not every end unit is going to be on a corner lot, because sometimes they have multiple buildings next to each other and stuff, and then we really did like the fact that it was right near the entrance and right across from the mailbox.
so I'm just picturing like that's how life would work in this place. So imagine if you live in an apartment area and you are next to the entrance and exit. So you get home from work, you can just rip and you're there.
Yep.
And when you need to leave, rip and you're out.
Well, and the nice part too was we also had the sidewalks, but also the main sidewalk outside of the community that we could just walk out the back door and off we go,
Oh, yeah. I love, walking around. Mm-hmm. I remember there was some kind of weird study, and I'm not sure how valid it is because science is in a very loopy area of being trustworthy nowadays. Not all science is fake, but I do think that, you do have to, research more. Anyway, the study said that if you go and walk around more, your creative juices in your head or whatever kind of go better or kind of spark more. So you get more creative. It helps kind of there. So not running, but walking more will help you be more creative. And part of me kind of feels that there's some truth into that. I was able to get a lot more creative ideas. I don't feel kind of like that weird fog in your head. Anyway, I enjoy just having my nightly walks.
Just peace. And of course, lately we've been trapped inside our house.
If you have just looked through, if you haven't listened to all of our episodes, you're a new subscriber, just take a look at some of our titles. You may have noticed that we've had this cop thing kind of trend happen a few times. And you can see this neighborhood, while I hesitate to call it a ghetto because my idea of what a ghetto is definitely isn't this, but we got some ruly neighbors here.
Yeah, it's a sketchy neighborhood for sure.
Exactly.
So anyhow, if you haven't guessed already, the next thing we did after we found out, oh, hey, it's actually only $20 a month above our highest point that we had, which we're like, okay, well, we can do that. Mm-hmm. Because, we had a high number in our head, but, it was kind of still, we could go higher than that. It's just that we didn't necessarily want to.
And even though I didn't get my garden tub,
because we didn't want to be house poor.
Yeah, correct. And even though I didn't get my garden tub, which I really, really wanted, I got someone who will cut my grass.
Yes.
And that's a huge perk.
Oh, yeah. So, they're there to take care of all the exterior, cut our grass, do the termite. They even pay for our water and sewer. And, you know, I mean, it's like, wow, this is really
stuff
nice.
that I don't have to do.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, this community didn't end up having any of the like playground or pool or things like that. But, you know, we have family and friends not very far away that both have pools. And, you know, our daughter's kind of out of the playground-ish stage.
Yeah. And here's something I've been wondering about that, because when I think about back in the day when we were in Colorado, we did have some amenities, but they really weren't used that often.
Yeah.
But what I do feel that what people did is, and maybe it just so happened because the time that we live in now and people don't quite act the same way, but we used to go to people's garage and have drinks and stuff like that, shoot darts, play card games in the garage. And I would love to get, if that is possible in the new age, you know, maybe people would do that without having those other distractions. People like, you know, just have their door. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? My name is Jared.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I will settle for, at a minimum, people that don't shoot and scream and, you know.
Wouldn't you? Is there someone who's listening is like, no, I disagree. I mean, sometimes you just gotta raise some Hail Marys. But yeah, I think that's like a requirement. You know, just no. I'm looking for a place with shooting.
So yeah, I'll be very happy without that. So yeah, you know, I mean, the reason that, you know, we were able to afford such a high amount though was partially because it didn't have the playground and the pool and the, you know, clubhouse and the gym that not many people use.
And there's probably someone who's like, wait, why don't you do that? Because you'll get all that stuff. And like, well, she goes to school. We live in Tampa. We got Busch Gardens if we really so desire. And season pass. Go in there. There are things to do here.
Oh yeah, we do. I mean, we do plenty of stuff. Yeah. I'm just looking forward to the fact that like we'll be in a safe neighborhood. I'll be okay with her going out and playing by herself. Where, you know, me keeping an eye on her. Where I don't feel okay doing that now. Yeah. You know, we can, you know, get on bikes and go ride around the neighborhood. You know, again, not something we do now because our neighborhood is dangerous and there's cars that like drive 1,000,000 miles an hour down our road.
If I'm awake at 1 o'clock in the morning and want to go outside and walk amongst a nice sky, I can do that. Yeah. That may sound weird to most people, but I enjoy a nice, peaceful, serene walk of just enjoying and having my thoughts just kind of flow out there. And I can do that. Yep. I cannot do that now.
Also, it just happens to be a bonus that this is a new construction.
Yes. So
that was kind of like a weird thing for us because we weren't expecting to do that.
No, not at all. I think you know, as far as like the realm of possibilities at what we was picturing,
new construction was never really it.
Yeah. So here's the thing: we got a home.
Yep. But it's
we can't get into it.
Yeah, it's hard hat only.
Yeah, exactly. So right now our home is basically, you know, you need mud boots, you need a hard hat. There's you know, it's nothing.
There are some there are blocks up for the first level of it, and that's it.
Exactly. So as much as we were like, all right, so guys, when are you moving
Let's
in?
move now, right? No.
Well, we gotta wait. I think it's like 5 or 6 months. Until we can actually go in there. So. Yep. Which is it's
fine. It's fine. I mean, we don't have to like we're not on a strict timetable. I mean, we want to move obviously because it's not, you know, we don't like our neighborhood, but at the same time, and we've lived here for a little over 2 years now, we can handle waiting, you know, 5 more months or whatever. Yeah. Plus, we have a lot that we want to go through because we've rented now for over 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
So most of our stuff is hand-me-down or has moved multiple times, which is, you know, anybody who's moved furniture doesn't handle it as well.
That have lived permaboxed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. You know, we've never really done the decor, so we want to go through everything and only bring the things that we really want or really need, and then we can get better stuff, things that are more our style, not just free.
And by better stuff, I mean like get things that we could feel be permanent, like you know, a built-in. Like if I want a desk that's touching or built into the wall, we can do that here.
Or an actual bed frame.
Or an actual bed frame.
Right now, we sleep on a mattress that's on the floor.
I normally wouldn't want to expose all that, but sure, yeah. It's but the only reason why we do that is because, it's like, why get in that one? Because right now we're in the pitch. We're wanting to move.
Well, we have had ones before.
We just got rid of it, and just
like the last one that we had, the reason we finally just got rid of it because when we moved from our previous house, which had carpet on the floor, then we moved here, and our bedroom had vinyl, and it slid everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Like, we were constantly moving and sliding, and our mattress was falling off, and it was a pain in the freaking butt.
And you had to pick up the bed and push it back.
Yeah, so we're like, fine, whatever.
And this is a common issue. So I know other people have this issue. If you have flat floors, not carpet, your bed sometimes moves. And not because you're doing anything in there. Yeah. You're just jumping in the
sleeping,
bed.
Yeah,
exactly. You hop in the bed, and then it moves there, and then you have to wake up, like, okay, I got to push this back. So it's an actual thing. And like, by putting it flat on the ground, which still moves.
Yeah, but not as much. But the thing was, before, like, the bed frame would move, and the mattress would move on the bed frame. So we had like this double decker move thingy going on here, so at least now we only have one thing that moves. So, I mean, it's still kind of irritating, but actually I think we really like kind of lower beds. We'll probably end up getting like a platform kind of lower to the ground. And we don't like those high ones.
And I've been looking at like a lot of Pinterest stuff, and I am going to try my darndest to get a saw and saw table and get my woodworking and skills in there, and maybe put some Instagram posts on some creative things I really want to do, and also do some LED wraps because I want to do that, so make it really look.
There are a lot of things we want to do,
but I feel like we can actually do those things here.
Well, we'll actually have a place that's our own. We've never had a place that's just ours.
We should have to do like a renters versus owners episode one day of things that as a renter, things you don't do. Painting the walls, very common one. When you pick your furniture,
if they do let you paint a wall, because we've actually been in now 2 places that we were able to paint the wall.
Yeah.
But you have to choose a neutral color,
and it has to be approved.
Yes.
So I think we chose this very neutral whites. For the most part, that's not a problem for us. But if we want to, we can use the dark paint. We can use black.
We can go all sorts of crazy.
I wouldn't, but but at the same time.
But I mean, I like bright colors. Like we one of the model homes we walked into had this like orange wall, and I'm like, yes, I would love that. That's really cool.
Yes, the way they used it, and then I've seen walls that were orange, and it just didn't pass. It looked like mustard.
You have to use it sparingly.
Yeah. I mean, it just didn't come across well. But the way that utilize it with crown molding and stuff, we can be a part and actually have that and actually make this.
Well, and they had some like really unique things. Like there was one we walked into and they had like these records that were like, and like just interesting things like that, or like a full wall graphic mural. Just like these. Like there was that one where it was the lady, the face, and the red lips, and things like that.
And even if you were allowed to do that into a renter home, most people who rent don't do that.
No, I mean you're gonna leave maybe in a year, maybe 2,
or even if you don't leave and
you want your security deposit back.
Well, yeah, but even if you don't leave and you are a long-term renter, you still feel it's not your place. Yeah. So
it's not
exactly. So most people don't do that, but I think that maybe your follow-up. Who knows? I'm not going to call it out, but I do think maybe a follow-up later on down the road. A couple will do I think a podcast of the benefits of renting or something along that line.
We could also technically once we go through this whole new construction phase, because the cool part is that we get to actually be a huge part, or well, not a huge part. I mean, we don't get to make decisions on it because they have a I like to call it an assembly line of things. So they've already picked out all their material. They know exactly what they're putting in there. So we didn't get to choose which color, but I was fine with the color choices. But it's like,
maybe different between different,
well, yeah, no, it's just this place that's the way they do it. And some of the other places, and it's probably because we're looking on the lower end of things. We don't have like a bunch of money to just go crazy.
Yeah, who knows?
But either way, so the cool part is that they were telling us that, we're going to be updated, pretty frequently on, the progress of it and stuff like that. But there's actually going to be, I don't know, they were saying like 10 or 15 different walkthrough moments, and some of them we get to join in on. And, you know, specifically, there was one of the big ones was right before they put up the drywall. They'll let us, like, we get to walk through it. The contractor is going to walk us through it, and we get to see like all of the electrical and all the things hidden behind the wall. And I mean, not that I'll know anything that he's showing me, but
here's something that I think is cool from our home buying process. Before, if we would get a home, we wouldn't get this chance.
No,
not going the traditional route of actually like having the contractor be there and going there. It's not like we're looking to build our home, especially in this day and age when you're living like in a city like we are. Having that as a possibility, it's not very common, even if you do have a lot of money here. So that's, you know, a really huge plus to be able to, like, you know everything that's happening at home. And then, like, you know, as far as, like, you know, in the future, are you going to have any problems with this, whatever? Like, we know from day one that we are the first home buyers of this home.
Yep.
This is going to be our spot. So everything from here starts from us.
Yep.
And anybody who, if we sell this home, will be in a former Smith family home.
Yes, they will. It'll be interesting. So, yeah, you know, I mean, that's only one of the kind of walkthroughs we get to do. And they say we could stop by any time and, you know, take a look. And, you know, there's just these really, like, things that we're like, oh, well, this is an interesting perk. Yeah, so while we have to wait a lot longer, I mean, we were thinking, like, you know, end of October, we were going to get to move into a house, and now, you know, it's a lot further.
It got pushed back
a bit.
But, you know, I think it's fine. It's fine. It's one of those things like, we like to go in there. But then again, it's like, we are getting a brand new one.
Yeah.
We were thinking we were going to keep shopping for something used. We're getting something that's pretty brand new and pretty awesome. Yeah,
plus it gives us time to organize and go through all of our stuff instead of being rushed. And
which, you know, of course, part of our setup today to get the podcast going is definitely involved with that. I got like a basket that's kind of hanging off the microphone here, just to kind of describe some of the craziness that, you know, so we're trying to organize, which means...
I mean, anybody who's ever done the organizing and taken everything out of boxes knows that all of a sudden your house becomes a disaster.
You know what? And if anybody is in there, I put these out there. We're not really like, you know, up there in the higher echelons of people who are, I guess, who get very involved. But for anybody who does, hey, you know any tips and tricks and stuff like that? Send them our way. Maybe we'll actually do a podcast and just talk about that.
Yeah, organizing a home.
Right now we're
moving.
And you know, when you see those show homes and you see like HGTV and those fancy stuff they do, and part of me really wants to make sure that we touch something so people go inside our place and it's like, wow, you guys, this is amazing, stuff like that. And I'm kind of fine in my head right now. I've been thinking about it. It's like there's got to be a formula way to do it too. So I'm trying to figure out a nice formula way that we can kind of find and make sure that we get the right color palette. We got the right size for room. There's levels involved.
I mean, I think the issue is, like, you know, for me, there's too many freaking choices. I mean, I hate what's many choices.
The choice parallax or something?
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But, you know, all I know is, like, I'm going like, no, there's too many options. So I've decided to instead focus my attention on getting, you know, everything ready to leave. So I created a whole between now and when we might possibly move in, of, you know, okay, well, this week we're going to complete this. And then by this date, we're going to complete, you know, this next thing. And so, I went a little overboard.
Here's why I want to go overboard. You want to go overboard with kind of, well, I guess not overboard, is very high planning. Yes. Like, she literally made like 3 sheets of paper of just like what we are scheduled to do for the next 4 or 5 months. 5 months of what we're going to be doing.
Well, we do have holidays coming up in this, so I feel like we need to be organized.
Agreed.
But yeah, I'm probably a little crazy.
But I kind of want to, I'm like focusing on once we get there, because one thing I do fear is once we get there,
then you do nothing.
Exactly. And I think
like, I've been going now for this long time, I need to relax.
And for good reason. You know, but at the same time, much effort effort and just moving. Then you finally get there, like, okay, time to take a forever break.
The thing is, too, though, like, I also want to, I mean, there are certain things that, I want to do when we move in. But there's also this, like, sometimes you don't know what exactly will work the best until you're actually, like, in that space.
Yes.
And you put your stuff in that space.
Correct. So here's what I'm trying to do. So here's what I'm trying to do. What I want to do is basically I want to get like the layout of the house, and I want to focus on each room, and I want to have a color palette of 3 choices because it's 5 months and I can do this for each room, and kind of given like a bright light style, a colorful style, or something like that, and stuff that you would like. I know she wants like kind of
You did it too.
Man. Okay, anywho, what I want to do is get these color palettes, run them by you guys, and then
we're gals.
And
anyway, I mean, certainly, I'm going to create a priority list.
Yes, but I want to set a strategy so we can actually, because one thing we haven't like put a lot of now that I'm looking in this room, we haven't put a lot of like effort into putting like hanging pictures that aren't like our personal photos, or like random artwork, or you have like little trinkets of like an elephant with a plastic tree thing out the back, or a potted plant. We don't normally get that because it looks like it's there, doesn't serve any purpose.
We don't usually do a bunch of decor kind of stuff. One, because we don't want to put a bunch of holes into these walls that we might have to spackle later on.
Yeah, and then like, what am I going to do with this pot? I mean...
Yeah, exactly. Like, the decor doesn't really transfer easily.
Yeah.
So... And then, of course, what might work in one house won't necessarily work in the next one. So we've just kind of not really done the decor thing much at all. So our homes have always been very bland.
See why we're having a connection with the bland home.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like, this feels like renter's safe here.
Yeah.
That's
So now we're going to be walking into a place that feels like a model home, and we're like going to be like, what do we do? Of course, it's going to be white walls, so not exactly a model home.
Yeah,
but
we're trying to we couldn't do things like, now we can pull a cool graphic on, like,
where do we put it? What do we do? Like, how does this work? Well, I mean, we've never lived in a place we can really do that.
I think we'll make our mistakes, and then we'll make some corrections. But I think in the end, maybe month, I don't know.
At least
6.
we don't have to like do the whole like, let's tear down a wall or something like that.
No, we don't need to do that here.
No.
This definitely works. So, in conclusion, one, we've had a crazy ride through this entire home thing, and we're still gonna have another episode in the future,
probably
5 to 6 months down the road
when we've actually finally moved.
Exactly.
Yay!
And talk about all the weird horrors about picking up everything and then finally choosing everything and getting furniture, and then IKEAs are, we're just going over there every other week. But we'll definitely leave you and bring you on that journey with us.
Yep.
But
journey of our life. It's been quite a ride.
yes. And you know what? It's funny because I'm actually really excited, and I'm more excited about this place than the last. Before we were making plans because they had this really awesome like loft area thing, game room section, and for all the other problems that would have brought, like this one has so many more solutions. It has the washer dryer upstairs, close to where we want to have everything. It has the closet right through the bathroom, and another closet just in case you missed that one.
Yep.
Just a lot of things that this other house just did not have.
Plus, it has like the kitchen of my dreams, layout wise, and everything.
Yeah, a perfect place for us to actually have our podcast gear set up, master
Not
office.
in the kitchen.
Well, yeah, we can do it right in the kitchen. All right, we're cooking with Laura and Xavion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you really. Well, I'm still trying to master doing crispy chicken, which sounds odd. I'm still. I can't make crispy chicken to save my life.
Well, no, it's because we have an oilless fryer. And so you're trying to make crispy chicken in an oilless fryer.
Yeah, an air fryer. It's the same.
Yeah, an air fryer. There we go.
So the one thing that I have with this, and if you have some help, please send it my way. So in my air fryer, where you're supposed to put oil on this chicken, I'm using air, so it just seems to dry up everything I put into it. And I've been trying to put other things in it, and it just doesn't work.
But we don't want to get like the pot of oil and dump it in there. And
well, now I do. I do.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so wrap this up.
All right. So if you can, I do a lot of stuff at the crowd here. So if they have any tips and tricks for moving or decorating or making crispy chicken. No, don't do that last one. I'll figure that one out on my own. But, please send us, I guess, what's the best way for them to send stuff to us if they want to reach us, the Couple Podcasts?
Well, I mean, they can email us at admin@itcouplepodcast.com. You could comment on the Podbean. We see everything. So, I'm constantly looking at all that.
If you get all totally confused, go visit our website at itcouplepodcast.com. It's literally there. It's if you're about to email us, go down there. We have a little messaging board. We do see those when they come in. There's a little comment section at the bottom of the page. Feel free, reach out, and we would love to hear from you.
Yep.
And I think that's all we have for today.
So, that's it, folks.
So thank you so much for listening. And until next time, take it easy.
See ya.
I got a lot of editing to do now.